Alrighty, dighty. What's happening, y'all?
Hey, what's going on?
What's happening?
Hey. It is the Middlepage Podcast, powered by Blast Music 24/7. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. Yes, got Martin in the house. Of course, we got Veep in the house. Sunshine will be along in a few moments. And you have me, Sherrita C W Delacruz. Y'all had a good week so far? I know it's just Tuesday, but...
So far, so good.
Closer to the middle of the week, so I'm glad.
Right. So, real quick, everybody's on the couch right here, right? Everybody's on the couch?
Yeah.
Regrettably,
but yes.
Yeah, we're not going to say nothing to you, because especially you're not wearing that hat tonight. We ain't going to say nothing. We're just going to leave you there. It's all right. No, that's you showing off your haircut. Shouts out to your barber.
Yeah,
remember last week? Last week he gave you the freshest of the fresh touch up, and so we'll say that's the reason why you're not wearing your hat tonight.
Okay, fair enough. I'll walk in that.
Indeed. Tonight's topic is anxiety and how we deal with it. We'll be talking to our folk, and we have a guest in the house, Prop Joe. He's a really good friend of mine, but he's also an entrepreneur, a musician, advocate of humankind, and just a really great guy, generally. We'll have him in a little bit. Let's see. What do you think? We're just going to bring him on in so we can get this conversation popping?
We can do it.
All right.
Hi.
He was ready. What's going on, Prop?
Hi, everybody. What's up, Sherrita C W?
What's going on?
Man.
Nice to meet you, man.
Same to you, brother. Nice to meet everybody.
Yeah, to formally introduce y'all, that's Martin. He's a poet, an entrepreneur, podcaster, generally all around great guy.
A former poet.
Oh, you're a former poet. Okay.
A former poet.
That's another conversation to be had.
I like that.
I didn't know you retired.
I like that. Well, I semi-retired a little bit. I ride out on the radar, then I pop up when I need to be.
Okay. Cool. Everybody is familiar with anxiety. I'm sure I'm going to give a textbook definition of anxiety. Anxiety is a feeling of fear, dread, or uneasiness. And generally, anxiety is normal. But if you start to experience anxiety on a level that it starts to affect your life, that is when it can become a mental illness. Statistically speaking, it says 30% of adults are affected at some point, at some level of anxiety. That's 3 out of 10 people. So, we got 4 people right here, right now. So at least one of us has experienced anxiety. Can anyone give reasons why anxiety would be an issue in someone's life?
Death. A person dealing with the loss of a family, which I am, I'm experienced that same, situation, like I explained to y'all like a week ago that, my brother passed away a week before Christmas. So, it's been a little rough, at times, dealing with it, constantly thinking, all the good things, just memories and stuff like that. My sister, we very close, so we both experiencing at the same time. So it's been kind of rough. I think that's one of the things that anxiety can creep in from, a loss of a family member or somebody.
Right.
Or in my case, I used to be in the military. I'm a military veteran too. So
thank you for your service, sir.
Yes, sir.
You're welcome. For everybody watching, sign up and send my boys home if you want to thank me. Everybody watching, sign up. Anyway, so I enlisted in the military when I was fresh out of high school. I actually did it in the 11th grade. So I was 16, 17 in the military, and my first foray was stopping a guy from killing himself. So if that gives you some insight into how the rest of my life kind of went,
right.
But in any event, you get kind of programmed to do a certain job, so to say. And when you get out, you're expected to turn that part off, but you just can't turn those things off. So there are still small things like fireworks, for example, that trigger those types of reactions. So I would say military service could cause anxiety.
Okay. What about you, Veep?
I'm sincerely thinking about it. Anxiety. I'm such a laid back dude. I really deal with a lot of, stress and with my business in itself, but anxiety. Well, if anything, I had to work outside of my business. That's kind of anxiety to me because I want to focus on my business. I don't want to be working for the man. I want to do my own thing. But you got to bring in that paper. So I'm still doing that to try to take care of this. So two jobs, that's bringing me anxiity, but it is what it is.
Absolutely.
It is what it is.
I think bills, period, gives anxiety.
Yeah, for sure. For me as a woman, I think anxiety can be brought on by being able to perform a lot of the tasks that women have to perform in life. Motherhood, career, performance for your spouse on all levels. And just generally being a woman in the world, and doubly, it could make you doubly anxious being a Black woman in this world. Particularly in middle-aged, anxiety might rear its ugly head because we're experiencing emotions changing. I mean, you remember back in the day, we didn't give a damn about nothing. But now we're thinking about mortality. We're seeing our parents age. We're seeing family and friends age, possibly go on from here. Our bodies are changing. We can't stay up as long as we used to. We can't have ice. We can't have ice cream. Our bodies ache and creak when we walk around. We sit on. You ever seen that little meme with the fox sitting on the side of the bed, like, I'm trying to get ready for my day, and he's just sitting there with his legs crossed, like,
That's me every morning.
We really got to ready ourselves to get up and get out into the world and do our thing. So those are some of the things that could provide anxiety. Some people will call it, whenever folks in middle-agedom experience anxiety, called midlife crisis. Has anyone experienced a midlife crisis at this point?
I don't think I was experiencing it, but I think that I'm just more, I guess, you could say seasoned or different, or just more. I'm more of a homebody more so now. It's just like, I just like being in the comfort of my own home. I don't do too much. I don't like to be out too much or deal with people as less possible as I can. I just do my business. I go to work, do my business, take it, be there for my daughters, and that's it. I do this, throughout the week and everything, and I'm content. I'm happy. Midlife crisis. I don't know. I haven't think I've experienced that where I want to go out and buy me a convertible Corvette yet. So
yeah, big red car, right? That was the whole idea.
So yeah.
I had what I'm about to probably age myself a little bit, but I had what basically amounts to an early midlife crisis a couple years ago. Sherrita would know. I spent probably the last couple of years changing time zones and countries and languages like socks.
Right.
Part of that was a symptom of that early midlife crisis. Now, for me, it wasn't a negative though. I grew to be hyper aware of virtually everything. I look at how people respond, and I act accordingly. Nowadays, where I would probably have, and Sherrita, you would know this, I would probably rah. nowadays, I'm like,
I'm surprised at how calm he's become in his old age. I'm sorry, seasoned age. Now, to be mindful, you're the youngest person here right now. Everyone has revealed their age at time or another. If you're willing, that's cool. But the guys, they have revealed their age at one point or another on the podcast. So,
well, only because I'm still prop. I'll say this. I'm above 40. Let's just say that.
Yes.
And I know that, especially with things physiologically changing, my temperament for things have just grown to like Martin said, if it's not paying my bills, or if it's not affecting my family, and even those things you can't really control. Yeah. Honestly, after square one, everything else is minimal at best.
I dig it.
I'm not gonna lie. I like my space. It's just that I'm at that point where I'm just like, I like my space. I'll go out and mingle and stuff like that, but at some time or another, my space is more important right now. It's just like it seems like the older you get, the more you need to think a little bit more, to have a clear head to make sound decisions in your life, instead of just always moving around and going and less thinking and just going, and you never take a moment to stop and slow yourself down. When we was younger, that's all we did. As we got up in our 20s and 30s, we still been moving. Now you get to your 40s and your 50s, you're like, golly, time has really ticked past me. So So you kind of like trying to slow yourself down. But there's people that's our age out there now still be trying to go. I'm like, where are you going?
Right.
Like, I tell people like this all the time. I have done everything. I ain't gonna lie to you. I have done everything. The clubs, I done moved from coast to coast, from a time to another, venture off, experience different things. I just don't feel like that no more. I'm at a point where it's just like I don't have to have a lot just to do a lot.
Can I point out the fact that you and Prop Joe, I know you guys for a while, and I know your lives a little bit. Do you think because you have gone out of the realm of your upbringing and normal life from your 20s and 30s and in your 40s, you've gone and experienced the world a bit, like with you going to the Pacific Northwest, Martin, and coming back to the South, or you, Prop Joe, going abroad and coming back to the United States because you're not from the South. Do you think because you've experienced what life is like somewhere else, that gives you lesser degrees of anxiety or carefreeness? Not that you don't give a damn, but I'm saying carefreeness about life.
I think. Go ahead, Prop. You can answer
that. Yeah, I would say yes and no. So me and my mom was actually just talking about this. So for me, I tend to get more anxious when I come back to the United States. Many of the places that I've gotten the opportunity to go, everybody's just going with the flow, and there isn't any discussion of politics or women versus men or black versus white. There isn't any of that. I spent a couple of months in Mexico, and I experienced zero racism during that time. So for me, the anxiety heightens up when I come back home, partially, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I don't care, partially because I have to put on my America hat. And my America hat has to be vigilant and smart and mindful and all of the things that they say that black men aren't. I have to personify that when I come back.
I think for myself is that I will experience a little anxiety because, when you move away and you experience different things, you get homesick from time to time. I used to get homesick real quick, and then I have to will myself out of it, and I'll be like, like when I first moved to the Pacific Northwest, I think I've been up there for like 6 months, and I ended up flying back to Georgia to visit my family like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, man.
I remember that. He was like, wow.
I was like, I don't even have it like that. And I was just flying back and forth, you know, like, but I think it was the anxiety of missing home, but I got the excitement for flying back and forth because I never flew like that. So I was like, I was loving it. So I guess like Pop said, it's a positive and a negative to it. But I think me experiencing it kind of alleviates some things, you know, say, hey, I experienced this life, like doing it, you know, now I'm good. Because actually when I moved back, I drove all the way back. That was the high for me. I'm telling you. Like,
I'm talking about coast to coast, Prop Joe.
yeah. I'm like, I literally drove from Seattle, Washington, all the way back to Savannah, Georgia. And I'm telling you, I loved it. I loved it. I was by myself, and I'm like, man. I was like, if anybody really wants, I guess you could say that was my midlife crisis.
I think so.
Yeah, you could say that. You probably could say that because I did something that I probably would never have done at a younger age, you know, and
because he was like, I'm getting my car flown out here. I was like, shit. He was like, yeah.
Yeah, when I moved out there, my best friend, his boss flew my car out there to Seattle, and I had my car out there. And then when it was time for me to move back home, my sister said, "Won't you?" I said, "I might just get my car, fly back over." She's like, "Why don't you just drive?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I never really put that car on the road like that." I said, "I've been everywhere in that car." So all I did was got a nice tune-up, got it checked out, and it was good to go. And I got in it, and I just woof. And it was me, God, and the highway, and that was it.
I've driven on East Coast to West Coast before, from North Carolina to San Diego. I see what you mean. It is a freeing experience.
Yeah, I tell you. Yes, man.
Wow. I would have been scared to drive by myself. I think I would have definitely been scared to drive by myself.
I think that's why I did it, because I wasn't afraid. I was like, I mean, I think my sister could tell you best. She's like, I'm never afraid to experience or you know, do something different. Like my sister would never just, you know, she's married now, but she would never do what I did, just moved away. When I was 20, I moved to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and lived with my aunt. I moved back. I lived in Detroit. I lived in the West Coast. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I go to places to experience something different, and then it's culture-wise, because everywhere I went to was you got to experience different cultures. You know, like Detroit is very popular in different cultures. The West Coast is also. So it's, to me, I learned more from it than anything, you know, because it was a great experience. So I've never had a bad time. Never had like a bad time in neither one of these places. So.
All right, I understand. That's to be able to have traveled is overwhelming. Like I've traveled places, but I've never like intentionally traveled somewhere to go live with the intent to live somewhere else. I think the only place that I've ever lived besides Greensboro is Winston-Salem. And I had anxiety just going down the road. But I got used to it. So anxiety can be a large part of your life or a small part. And I'm glad that you guys have control of that. Is there any point where you felt like you didn't have control and that you felt really like your anxiety was overwhelming you in any of the cases that you mentioned?
No, well, I was prepared early though. I'm a product of Crack Central, New York City, circa 1980-ish. So if you can survive that, you can survive anything. And so from a really, really young age, even because you know about my life, nothing has been what one would say uneventful by any stretch. So there isn't much that I can't handle. And the military, I hate to harp on it because it's not necessarily a popular thing, but the military kind of personified that, and it happened so early that music was a breeze, corporate America is a breeze, entertaining is a breeze. There's nothing that can't be accomplished if you can survive. If you can survive AK-47 rounds, both in uniform and out of uniform, you can survive anything.
Mm-hmm. How about you guys?
Me personally, I never experienced the military. I got close when me and my best friend graduated out of high school. We almost went in on the buddy system, but I didn't pass the test. I missed it by 2 points, and I didn't retake it again. I never retake it again. And I was like, and I always have these premonition things. If it was meant for me, it would happen. And I just felt like that was say, hey, you know what? You got close. Maybe it's not for you. Because I always was a college nuthead. I always wanted to go to school for technology. I'm always fascinated with computers and stuff like that. So that was pretty much my direction. But I wanted to use the military to get in to have that benefit of, using it for college and stuff like that. But it didn't happen, so it led me to a different route. So, but I commend everybody, all my friends, yourself, Prop, who served in the military, because that's probably one of the toughest jobs on earth.
And people don't tell you that you're signing up for the armed forces. College sounds nice. The benefits sound nice, but at the beginning and end of the day, you are joining a fighting force. And while they
don't make it sound realistic.
They don't. They tell you, oh, your kid, they can go to college and do all of this stuff, but then put them in Iraq where they ducking bullets. Okay. Because that's what you go to the military for. You go to duck bullets. Everything else is a long, distant second at the end of the day. So it's something to be applauded. But for me, it helped me grow up. Helped me be a better man. Disciplined. I get up in the morning and actually clean my house. I think that activity also, to get back on topic, also helps with combating anxiety or anxious moments, Sherrita. Staying busy. I'm not necessarily a big workout guy, but I try to keep moving. And I think the more you keep moving, the better it is, especially if you have a higher degree of an anxiety or PTSD of sorts.
Real quick, we saw Daniel come in. Thank you for joining us, Daniel. It was a couple of other people that I saw that came in.
Daniel. I know Daniel. That's my nephew.
All right.
Q. What's up, Q?
Dizzy and Glitch. Yeah. Thank you for joining. And I see Sunshine's joined. Hello, can you hear Sunshine?
Peace.
Sunshine.
Technical difficulties.
Listen, it's all good. Good to see you. As you know, tonight's topic is anxiety and what we do about it. We talked about anxiety, just to catch you up. We talked about anxiety being one of the most common forms of mental illness. Of course, it's not a mental illness, because anxiety is normal. Get nervous or stage fright or stuff like that. That's normal. But anxiety, when it becomes a problem, when it starts to affect your everyday life, is when it starts to become leaning more toward a mental illness issue. Most middle-aged people may start to experience a little bit more anxiety versus other parts of their lives because our bodies are changing. We start dealing with feelings more. My example was when I was young, we didn't care about nothing, but now as we get older, we start to redefine life and think about mortality, our parents and our friends getting older or even possibly passing away. Do you have anything to add to the part of things that might have like made you anxious, or what are examples of that for you? If you have ever experienced anxiety, before we close out this part of the segment and go to the artist of the week for Blast.
Honestly, I really haven't experienced an anxiety attack until like last year.
Mm-hmm.
And but being in that line of work, you know, the medical field and in mental health, being able to recognize the signs and the triggers, it was just like I needed something. And I think I mentioned it last week, like it happened in front of my sons.
Right.
And that was the second time. Like the first time I had it ended up being something with my heart, where they had me on a heart floor for a week and then on a heart monitor for 30 days. But from that experience, they knew what to do this time around, you know. So having both of them, you know, help me up, because it brought me down to my knees and I couldn't breathe. So it was like, you know, I kind of pulled myself together to kind of try to get myself to take a deep breath, but it wouldn't work. Like it literally wouldn't work. My son almost literally carried me outside. As soon as I hit the cool air outside, like it almost like punched me in my chest to like open up. And then I just stood there for a minute.
Was it a bit of hyperventilation, or was it really just, you know,
it was no
lack of breath?
I felt like it was just, you know, things going on, and it was just all at once, boom. And then it was like I felt like the living room got small. Like you seen I have the ceiling, but it felt like I turned around and it was like right there in my face.
Oh wow.
Like, and it just got like I just stood there, like, you know, and like my older son was watching me go through the motions. So that's what prompted the youngest one to come around and see what was going on. And they both, from what they said, they grabbed me and like was like pulling me to the door so that I could get out. So like I went and I spoke to, you know, like that's when I told you I started going to therapy again, because for that I was just like, yo, I've seen people, I've cared for people who literally have anxiety to the point where they need medication for it. So it was just like, that's not somewhere where I want to go. So let me go ahead and start going back to what I know works. You
Absolutely.
Know? And you know, and the stigma is we don't go for therapy, but therapy helps. You know, a lot of times we get so focused on speaking to our friends, which is nothing wrong with that, but you also got to be careful of that, because a lot of times you thinking you're getting help and you're honestly trauma bonding. And it's
like
really,
and
it's not serving a, you know, a bigger purpose of healing you. You're just trading stories. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely, trading war stories, and then you are on the one-up situation. Well, I dealt with this and I dealt with that, but trained professionals, they have ethics to follow, and they, you know, put you in a position where you can be guided into therapeutic measure or technique to help you release or decrease your anxiety or whatever's going on with you. The one thing that I had said, as far as anxiety is concerned, for women, we are the consensus here. So, you know, as far as women are concerned, but, you know, I asked the guys, you know, what things would induce anxiety, but for a woman, as I'm a woman, childbirth, having kids, performance and relationships with your spouse and things like that, career, you know, everything, you know, so those are things that have, you know, caused anxiety for me, I suppose. I think I mentioned to the guys that 30% of adults are affected at some point. So that would be 3 out of 10 folks. And so I like the fact that you brought up the therapy piece, because a lot of times in the community, people of color, nobody wants to really admit that therapy is something that is necessary when it gets to the point where it starts to affect your life. An example for me, like a lot of the topics that we talk about here on Middlepage Podcast are things that I've dealt with, and I really want to share and get opinions from others, so other people outside of this panel can be enlightened. I have anxiety issues that I deal with, not to the point where, well, not anymore, because I literally was having panic attacks. But I do take medications called Buspar for my anxiety. It helps me focus and keeps my mind off of the worration. I tend, people who are type A have a tendency to want things to be the way that they should be, not that the way that they could be. And they have this expectation of what things should be like. And I'm one of those people. Something goes awry, I might feel a certain way. It takes a lot for me to not care about something not going well. You know what I mean?
That brown gravy that she was like, oh no, I messed it up. And everybody at the vegan market kept coming for what? The brown gravy. I told her it was the bomb B.
So look, I told y'all when we first
thank you, Sunshine.
Came in a few minutes ago, we was gonna get in a little bit of trouble. So I'm gonna be slightly controversial. As men, you wanna know another anxiety point? Speaking about anxiety, as men,
talk about it.
We taught not to say nothing. We taught that you soft or you weak or anything but you just going through something. And everybody go through things. But as men, even the panel, brothers, we need to speak up a little bit more. And when they don't listen, you make them listen. Otherwise, we can't get better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So I found that as a man, and I was raised predominantly in a woman's setting, a female setting. But ultimately speaking truth to righteousness will sometimes get you in trouble as a man. We won't even talk about it as a black man. I'm gonna speak specifically as a man. We're expected to be strong. Any sense of a mental chink in the armor is seen as a shortcoming. And it's not necessarily everybody, but it is very common. Brothers, please tell me I'm not lying.
No.
Hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there, because that's a great stopping point. We're gonna pick it right back up, because typically midway in the show we get to the Blast Artist of the Week, so we want to kind of make sure we go ahead and get that taken care of, and we'll get right back to that prop. That was really, really good.
So tonight, the Blast Artist of the Week is my man once again, Yamasani, featuring C Rich, and this is The Culture.
Okay, girl, get it together. I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.
Who's a Jew and who's not? That seems to be the new topic. But I'd rather talk about who profits from violence on them singles you copping. Man-made holidays commonly deceive you in shopping. We in such pain, we seek out naproxen. Try to switch to PEA and doctors treat it like it's treason to stop it. Big Pharma feeling the karma. It's the season of logic, and we waking up, clean the house, mentally steaming the carpet. This the reconstruction era, breathing the carcass. Read me the charges. Kyrie retweets an image and they're seizing his dollars. Stephen A says I'm loving this, and he even hollers restrict or punishment. Oh, and Shaq, he's an accomplice, saying Kyrie should be suspended. Me being honest, media egregiously takes brothers, even hermanas, and pins them up against one another to feed the piranhas. I mean that Kyrie stormed the Capitol with thieves and Obamas. I'm watching all this happen at the crib in my pajamas like
I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.
Can I trouble you for a moment in time for us to huddle to? My people been through more ups and downs than the letter W. God, your people fell out of touch. We scared to summon you. We worship false idols that encourage us to be drug induced. The truth is hard to rebuttal, yay, so they muzzle you. Call you an unsolvable puzzle and they unpublish you. Try to make you earn approval with hurdles you jump into. But wait, make your decision like turtles, cause they can tug at you. But they know who you are, it's a power struggle and suppers do. Reclaim your seat at the table, pour you a cup or two. Take the largest portion of justice because they hunting you. Don't forget to finish that spinach dish in the supper stew. Leave the humble pie for the shot with the hitting colors too. Once you discover self with compass, you'll notice something new. They don't want you smarter, cause all of it's meant to comfort you and keep you running in a virtual bubble that's puncture proof.
I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.
Some say you the GOAT. I think that label's a joke for any human, cause every human's the greatest that's woke. So I'm confused by the words that you chose to use in your quote. You don't respect it, Brian, who you protecting? To not support the truth that your brother spoke is pathetic. I guess stealing people's identities copacetic. You act as if Kyrie is a random user on Reddit that posted a random documentary to say he said it. But when in contrary, he's been mostly prophetic. Especially with that jab that you took. Do you regret it? You know how many adverse reactions needed a medic? Your boy Kyrie's with the ancestors comedic. They burned our temples, took our Papria's paper to shred it. And you ain't say a word when they called them anti-Semitic. Brown with everything else, you're so versatile and eclectic. John Sally stood up for Kai, your boy Shay Shay ain't expected, but
I'ma stand by your side. If it's trouble, I'ma ride. Gotta do it for the culture. Unity should coincide. Gotta do it for the culture. I'ma stand by your side. Gotta do it for the culture.
And that was Yamasani featuring C Rich. And that's the culture.
Listen,
and if you
say it, Troy.
Okay. And if you are an independent artist, a spoken word poet, or even an up and coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register as an artist. And we need fans too, and fans can register for free. That's blastmusic247.com, changing the industry one artist at a time. There you go.
Can you do me a favor and give that young man's information?
Yeah,
let them know where they can find this music, because that's not even we can't even unpack that right now.
Man.
But I'm talking about the last joint and this joint, and then the girl is singing. You don't even understand. I'm gonna shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give his information?
Sure thing. You can find Yamasani. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. I'll wait.
We're excited.
Well, the main thing is you can find Yamasani on Blast. So if you go to blastmusic247.com, you can find him there. But he's also on YouTube, and that's YAMSANII, Yamasani. And that's my guy, man. I got mad love from him coming out of Texas.
Listen.
Hey, and he's from Texas. He sounds like a backpacker from, I don't know, Jersey, New York.
Right?
The female voice on the track, she's a chiropractor.
She is awesome.
Her voice is amazing. And just like what he said you treated him like Reddit is like the back channel of social media or whatever, but it's still very valid. Founded by Serena Williams' husband, Alexis Ohanian. But I mean, that track, it was just so much in that track. Even that let me see. It made me excited. It would produce anxiety for the individuals that he's speaking of on the track, especially Kyrie Irving. I can only imagine the level of anxiety that this young man had to have dealt with over the last little while for voicing his opinion and people giving him so much flack about it. And like back to Prop Joe saying about men can't express themselves in any kind of way other than superiority or masculinity without feeling what you said.
Anxious.
What's up, Miss Brandy?
Or feeling like they're inadequate or weak or anything other than what they're not. And this goes for the good and the bad brother. At their core, at our cores, we are by nature strong individuals, a strong part of the species, and just that one small thing is enough to cancel all of that in one fell swoop. Look at Kyrie, for example. Kyrie has been almost to the point of feminization because he's saying his piece. Like, he's not crazy. I actually think the brother is tired of not saying anything. Like the rest of the because I think Tupac said it. I'm a Pac fan. He was like, after a while, it starts out like, hey, I'm hungry, I'm knocking on the door. But then after a while, after knocking on the door one too many times, I'm kicking down the door with my phone. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is his version of Pac. I'm kicking down the door. Kanye West. I don't think Kanye West is crazy. I think Kanye West just stopped caring and stop giving a F. You guys, and if all of you guys know about his history, he was told that he was slow for the majority of his childhood.
Yeah.
So if you could imagine yourself in those shoes, somebody tell you that you slow for almost 20 years of your life, and then you become one of the biggest groundbreakingest artists in the world with a multitude of influence. You soon begin to start saying F these people. I'm gonna say what I want.
That's right.
Yeah, I dig it. Anybody else wanna?
It's my midlife crisis right now. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I swear to God, y'all, I say exactly what I want. And let the chips fall where they at.
That's right.
I mean, everything he said is like 100% correct. Sherrita, you know me for a hot minute, and you know some of the topics in my spoken word that I have touched on a lot. I've never been afraid to hit that subject, to hit that button, because I love speaking truth. Whether you agree with me or not, or whether you believe it or not, it'll make you think. Kyrie did something that we haven't had happen to us in a while. Kanye did something to us that we haven't had something in a while. It really to make us think. We have not think on that level in a long, long time. If you go back to when poetry was at its highest, Sherrita, you remember? In the early 2000s, where everybody had a voice, men had a voice. What was told to men all the time? And that we need to stand up, we need to speak up, we need to be the voice, in the community. Now, society has it so switched around to where they don't want to hear from us. They want us to be quiet. They want to push us aside. Every time we say something, it's like, oh, well, even, now I'm not saying every relationship is like that, but I even had relationships that I have encountered where if I voice my opinion, I don't have to yell or anything. Everything is based on opinion. Some things are based on facts. But I'm not expecting for you to agree with me. But if I say something and you get the level of pissed off where what I'm saying to you, that means it hits a nerve. It hits truth to you, and it's like, I've been where Kyrie was, where I select to say certain things around a certain selection of people, because I feel like these are the only people that understand what I'm really talking about. So, and I said I have to get past that. So I use my poetry as an outlet. I'm gonna take y'all back almost to like 2006. When my mom passed away. When my mom passed away, I was lost. I didn't even know how to deal with anything. I think that was the worst level of anxiety that I ever had, because I was in school trying to get my associate's degree. I dropped out. I took a break from my job for a while. I felt like I was losing control of myself. I was in a relationship that wasn't really good for me, that deemed that I was crazy, but I knew what was going on around me at that time because I knew the situation with my mom had affected me so bad. So I literally had to stop working. It was me, my oldest son, and I was just like, I couldn't do it. So what really broke me out of my shell was writing, getting into poetry. Because I used to do it when I was little, and my mom used to love it. And that switch hit on for me. And when it hit on, that gave me the ability to open up my mind, my mouth, stand tall, be able to speak, don't care what others may think of me. And so, and that level from 2006 to now has brought that all the way to a full circle for myself. So to anybody out there that feels, any man that feels like they don't have a voice, don't let society tell you, no, you can't speak up for it. Whether it's right or wrong, just,
despite what they tell you, brothers, it's not toxic masculinity. Okay?
Exactly.
Despite what they tell you, you're not toxic. You're not a child molester. You're not gonna kill your wife. You're not gonna do any of those things. There's such a small cross section of that happening, but such a big volume of it being said that it's absurd.
Exactly.
Right.
And nobody wants to feel like that, let alone especially a guy that's a well-raised guy that's groomed to be a provider or do the things that they're being asked to do. Nobody wants to feel like they're a pariah. Again, that goes for good guys and bad guys. Nobody wants to feel like a pariah. And every day there's a minefield being navigated of, oh, you're toxic pariah. This is what you get when you do what Kyrie has done or when you do what Kanye has done.
Wow.
I don't say truth to power, I say truth to righteousness. Because at the end of the day, when you're speaking truth, there is no argument, there's no debate. The fact is the fact.
Especially if it's your truth. If it's your truth, no one can address it but you. No one can know exactly how you're feeling but you. Like Martin said, whenever he was experiencing what he was experiencing in regard to his grief process, no one can do that for you and no one can express it for you. We've all lost someone that we've loved on this panel. And, there was nothing that anyone else could do to help us navigate that grief. It was truly a process all our own. And with that said, how can you or us or we as a people find other ways, resources to navigate through anxiety if we're feeling it? Like Sunshine mentioned therapeutic measure, Prop and Martin said personal expression. What are other ways that people can really
get off the internet,
get off your phone, meditate?
Instagram. I could show you my timeline now, and your mouths will drop. Get off the internet, and half of your anxieties will probably go away.
What type of anxiety do you think that the internet produces?
It's a steady case.
Hey, listen. I have an idea. I'm just saying. Just for the sake.
Bro, hit it right.
It's a steady case of keeping up with the Joneses, okay? She got a BBL, I gotta have a BBL. He got an album out. He dropped a record, so now I gotta drop a record. He's on tour, so I gotta be on tour. And if my tour not bigger than his, I'm gonna go in my backyard and jump off my back patio. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's what it is. It's keeping up with the Joneses. Oh, his house not as big as mine, or I got the freshest shoes. And Sherrita and Sunshine, y'all know me. I don't care about shoes and none of that stuff.
Don't care about none of that.
No shade, right. May I say? I mean, he keeps shoes so well. I done seen him in the same shoes off and on for like 5 years. He just keeps everything well. He's well preserved.
We don't increase the forces. You don't do that. That's
why he can travel the world.
Y'all remember when Facebook first came out, how friendly it was, how exciting it was. Everybody used to want to be on there.
Because it was new. It was better than MySpace.
And
Black Planet.
Right?
Which they done turned into blackpeoplemeet.com.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I call Facebook a watch list, because that's what it is. It's a watch list to who's going to put their problems out on Facebook next. Who's going to, everybody that has some type of personal problem, use Facebook as an outlet to put their business out, where millions of people probably don't know each other from Adam to Eve to really understand, but you expect for somebody to comment on it to give you validation of your problem. I saw it so much through the time that I've been on there. It used to be a peaceful place where we could have used to post our art. You know, we used to have like so many friends. Now you just don't want that many friends, and you know, it has changed dramatically through politics and everything. You know, where I mean, I don't even care for it. For me, I don't even care for it. I mean, I use it to promote what I do for sports wise and connect and meet people. But I've never been the type of person that would go out on Facebook and say, you know what, today I'm feeling pissed off about something, so I'm gonna let the world know how pissed off I am. Some things are, Hall & Oates said it best. Some things are better left unsaid.
And Facebook pulls you in with that. Facebook pulls you in with that. They go, what's on your mind?
What's on your mind today?
So what about that? What about those individuals that feel like they can't talk to their family or friends and they utilize Facebook as their therapists?
Stop it.
You need to find a real therapist.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'd rather you talk to
These are
yourself
this for the people.
No, I mean, seriously, now granted, there are a lot of people that we know who are in these positions who will talk to you on Facebook. But again, make sure you're not trauma bonding. Make sure that, hey, I know on my friends list, I have XYZ therapist. Let me reach out to this person. Or then it's okay, let me reach out to this person because I know they either just went through this. And I remember them sharing, and I just need to revisit, you know, what they did to see if they can give me some suggestions or some ideas. Like, you know, you got to be smart about where you go to reach back for help. You know what I'm saying? Like, we already know, we've been trained, you know, don't, you know, birds of a feather flock together type thing. You know, that kid, you know, that's the bad kid on the block. Don't hang with that kid because, you know, you're going to get caught. Everything is going to fall on you too as well. You know, we already know that, but when we get older, those are some of the same things that we end up doing when we're in the midst of what, I don't want to say, give it a name, but you know, whatever it may be for somebody in the midst of their trauma, in the midst of their meltdown, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, we go back to stuff that we already know is not going to serve us right.
Like, don't take candy from strangers. Don't take candy from strangers.
And humans have been proven to be, from biblical days all the way up to as recent as Zelensky over there in Ukraine. Humans have proven themselves to be societally toxic. Okay.
People wake up and choose, like the fact that you have this great blue app, but you choose to get on this blue app. And just you just want to be the worst type of person ever. Like you like I mean, like I tell my sons, be the best version of yourselves today than you were yesterday.
Absolutely.
This is what they know. My friend tells them, be good, do good. So they getting it from both ends. But how is it when you, as the adult, you then turn around and start picking with people, trolling, whatever. What are the different terms? You troll,
Yeah.
you purposely get on there to be negative, like you don't care. You seek the negative in everything.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something so beautiful and amazing, but you gonna find one little fine tooth
And pick it apart.
Pick it apart and make it bigger to the point that it's not even about that. The whole post is done now because you done took it all the way to the left because you don't like the life that you was given. Like, I don't see how people can honestly get out there and just be like that on purpose every single day.
This is why my Facebook has no representation of where I've been over the last 2 years. You would think that I was sitting right home in North Carolina if you looked at my Facebook page.
Well, that's for the people who don't know.
Right.
Yeah. It's everything has to be a one-up, and I don't, at this age, at this stage of my life, I don't want to. You got it, as opposed to compete with you.
You know got it.
Like, my favorite thing to say is, you know what, you got it.
You got it.
You the king of the world. You got it. You crapping on every dude. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Like I literally have had been around women who have said, "Oh, I gotta keep up with the Joneses," and then they get frustrated when you don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't need like going places. You know, I go where I want to go.
Right.
And where I go, you know, I budget for what I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Like normal.
I'm not going on vacation to want to splurge more than what I've already did on the trip. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want to go do the festive stuff, but all this extra, the extra stuff for no reason. The only way I should see is like if you go somewhere where you're gambling. Okay, that's where you're expected to either lose or win a lot of money. You know what I'm saying?
Even then, set a limit.
But yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Even at that point, you must set a limit unless money is not an option for you. You know, I don't know what folks do. So if you got it like that, where you can get a check and blow it and get it right back, then hey, more power to you. I salute you.
Right.
But you know, at the same token, like, to be able to blow it and get it back, you could have had double by that time if you didn't blow it. You know, like, that's the way that I see it. But again, going on vacation is what you make it, not what the next person did on theirs. You know,
exactly.
Like, so many people now, it just seems like more people are vacationing because we got social media to exploit it.
Yeah.
Right. Just to show this is where I'm at. This is where I'm going.
You can see what people are doing versus them telling you. Like, a lot of people, like I told Sherrita, like, I haven't been back to Vegas since I went one time for 8 days and 7 nights, and I don't think I could go back. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know Vegas was a place you go just for the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, but when you work for the state and you got certain perks, you know, we did a whole union trip there, so that was different. But I lost my mind. I'm really not a gambler, but I like to party, and hey, the fact that I could drink up and down the strip right in front of the cops, like, I thought that was just like funny, but all I did was play the slots and drink. And then go to a club, you know what I'm saying, and then shop a little bit. But like, that was that many days, too much for me. Too much. And that was back in 2006, and I ain't been back since. But a lot of people like, oh, you don't go on vacation, you don't, because I done did a lot of the stuff before social media came around. I done been there already. I done been to Jamaica. Yeah, I done been to Jamaica already 2 times by myself, because it always starts out as a group. And then people, we have a friend,
right? We have a friend that's planning a trip to the Bahamas.
Yep.
And she was, I mean, of course, her birthday is in April, so she wanted to go in April or whatever. But I had to really convince her. I said, hey, hon, it's not in my scope. Like, I have some other things that I need to do this year and some tasks that I need to complete, you know what I'm saying, personally and in the home. Later in the year would be better for me. And she called me the other night and said, you know what? I thought about what you said. Like, yeah, later in the year would definitely be better for me too, because I really can't do that right now. And so I just say all that to say, Yeah, I just say all of that to say to co-sign what you were saying. Sometimes it's just not at the right time and stuff like that. And those types of things.
With that, but social media, people get addicted to it. That's the issue. They're addicted. Like I literally got told, "Oh, what's going on? You ain't posting that much." I watch your page. It's okay because remember, I used to go live all the time just sharing, certain things. But like I told people, people who share and is open like that a lot, especially empathic folks, you gotta pull back and recharge. And sometimes the recharge could turn out to be weeks and months, maybe a year or so. But people gotta understand that. If I've been giving for the last 2 years every day going live, then that means, hey, at least half of that I need to give back to myself. But no, I might go double. You know what I'm saying? Because why would I short myself to recharge when I need to give myself back more than what I put out?
I pull the plug. There's too many. So for me, there's too many angles that a person could criticize your simply just wanting peace. There's so many angles. I won't get into specifics here, but I've been accused of everything, y'all. Okay, I have been accused of everything.
Y'all better leave my bro alone.
but it's okay because I'm getting the last laugh. All right. So what I would suggest is pulling the plug. Pull the plug. F what everybody else is saying. Hopefully, I don't get y'all in trouble. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
No.
F what everybody else is saying. I think trying to spend time outside of your own brain is I'm about to be a rapper here. Is food for thought to spend time out of your own brain. Okay. And I think a lot of people are reluctant to do that. Again, society at large. I'm not saying individually, you, me, or anybody else, but you get us all together and we become a toxic waste sewage plant, okay?
Right.
So there's so many angles that a person could criticize, and that's how you get to have an anxiety and anxious moment. Especially for all of y'all, being in the public eye, somebody has got a criticism some sort of way, some sort of
That's why I was excited that you decided to come on tonight, Prop.
Yeah, because because
you're really not reclusive or nothing, but you really, you pick and choose your moments. So I really appreciate you coming on.
Those who know, know, and those that know, it's all right.
Right. For my friends that know me in real life.
So check this out. We're going to give everybody one last, little, 45 seconds, because we got to wrap. Anxiety. I know. Anxiety and what we can do about it if we are experiencing it. One by one, just everybody take 30-45 seconds to tell the people just one key note or key notion about handling anxiety. Martin?
Like Sunshine said earlier, don't be afraid to go to therapy. Talk to someone. If there's no one you trust enough, a friend or family member, seek some type of therapy. If you have to be on medication, to help, but don't be afraid. Don't be that person saying, "Hey, I'm okay," when definitely you're not.
That you're not. That's right. Sunshine? No, hold on, Troy. You've been quiet. Troy.
Hey, I'm chilling in the cut.
Give us a second. Give it a moment of thought. Was that food for thought, like Prop just said?
Look, give us your Russell Simmons speech.
In my case, I agree with everything you guys said, especially with social media. It's a double-edged sword. It could be beneficial and it could also cut you. Sometimes you got to turn it away, especially the news. I do not watch the news no more because there is some craziness that they be showing on the news.
Amen to that.
I'm one of those that I am a preserver of my peace, and I'm almost, if you would, violent, that I'm keeping my peace. That I will walk away, I will turn off, I will ignore to maintain my peace, because I like to go to sleep with at least stuff on my head as it is. So that's my 2 cents.
That's good.
Yeah.
Sunshine?
I was going to piggyback on the back of what Brad was saying. You know, now that not just social media, the fact that we got computers in our hands, you have to do the reframing of the mind, because kids that was born with this technology, they don't have the cognitive way that we learned. They don't smell the pages of the book. They don't, they don't turn. That's a whole process, like a ritual. Now it's boom, boom, boom. So your thoughts are moving just as fast as you're Googling and searching, the World Wide Web. So that's also what produces anxiety as well, if that's the type of brain that you're operating with.
Fact.
Can I go after Sunshine real quick? Because I want to bounce off that. Because back in the day, we didn't have that accessibility. Whenever you left the house, you left the house. Can I get an amen on that middle-aged folks? You had the message board at the house, and there was a phone on the wall. And if you wasn't there to get that call, your message went on the message board. It was what it was, right?
Or you had pages.
Yeah,
that
remember
part.
The beepers? No, wait, it was beepers first, then pagers, then SkyTel.
Yeah. Hello, 1377.
1377. You see, we all seasoned right here.
Yes, seasoned for real. And Prop Joe, what is your last take, real quick?
My last take is because we didn't talk about this, the people that don't really want to mess around with therapists. I have a different opinion, but go get your tail a passport, get on an airplane, and go somewhere. I promise you, it's cheaper than therapy. I promise you. Go get a passport. Don't go to LA from North Carolina. No. Go to Belize. Seen that happen already. Yeah. Go to Belize. Go to the Philippines. It's cheap to go over there. Go over to the Philippines. Just go. Whatever you do, just go. And hopefully everything work out.
Yeah.
And on the last note, hold on real quick. I just want to say on the last note for me, prayer. Definitely. We respect all spiritual outlooks here. Whatever you do, however you meditate, whomever you pray to, I pray to God about my life, and I have my relationship. Prayer definitely changes things. And if you want things to be different in your life, you can definitely make sure you go to God and talk to him about those things that plague you, and there will be a solution one way or another. Go ahead, Martin.
Oh, I was going to say, piggyback on Proud Joe. He was saying that, take a trip and fly out. Even after that, fly to the West Coast and drive back. That'll help too. And trust me, it worked for me. I'm telling you.
Not me. I get anxiety driving long distences.
I love you. Finally, something that he gets anxiety.
I be looking for, sometimes I be looking for, a co-pilot, but I get up.
I want an RV.
Prop Joe, though, I'm going back home. I'll see y'all today, and then I'll be done went to Jersey and came back the same day.
Yeah.
Didn't I just see you in Jersey on Facebook?
Yeah. And I came back the same day. I had to get up out of
there. Right.
That was me in Florida just 2 weeks ago. And good Lord, as soon as I got off the plane, it was so cold up here. I'm getting off track, but oh my God, it's so cold.
It's okay. You just want to throw your weight around about your climactic changes.
I just want to wear some shorts.
I want to wear some shorts too. We taking the trip down there. I'm telling you, I'm not playing. I'm coming.
Seriously,
I'm coming.
There's plenty of room.
The last birthday I had so much fun in Miami. Hey,
listen, she had a lot of fun in Miami for her birthday.
The birthday gift that just keep giving, right, Sherrita?
The one that keeps on giving. Wink, wink. Listen, guys, I love this platform. I love the ability to be able to reach out and talk to folks who know what they're talking about. Seasoned people like ourselves. The Middlepage Podcast is a wonderful place to come to fellowship, talk about some stuff. I appreciate each and every one of you. Please tune in to the Middlepage Podcast every Tuesday night from 9 to 10 Eastern on Blast Music 24/7. Subscribe on YouTube to Blast Music 24/7. You can also find Blast Music 24/7 on Instagram, as well as the Middlepage Podcast, info.middlepage on Instagram. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being present tonight for our topic discussion on anxiety. Thank you.
I didn't get you in trouble.
All right.
Yay!
Good night.
All right. Good night.